Want to talk about something that actually just happened yesterday. Court overruled or overturned Adrian Peterson's suspension, and he's back technically in the NFL. Now he's on Commissioner Roger Goodell's exempt list, and just want to talk about here what the Vikings should do. Obviously, I'm a Packer fan, and I have my podcast, Talking Packers with Steve and stuff, and Super Bowl shirt and whatever. But I just even that, as a podcast host and being objective, I think it's two ways to go about it. You could say, Adrian Peterson's selfish in saying, denigrating the Vikings about them not being there for him and yada yada. But he's the one who did something wrong. And if you don't learn from that mistake, you're bound to repeat the exact same mistake or mistake like it. But you can also then say on the flip side that Adrian Peterson deserves a second chance because Michael Vick got a second chance because he's all these other examples of athletes, not just in the NFL but other sports, got a second chance after embarrassing or bad situations or things that was their own fault but still a bad situation. So there's two sides of the sword in that's in this sense. But like I said, my personal opinion, I fall more on the line of Adrian Peterson is lucky that the Vikings just didn't cut him as soon, just as fast as the Baltimore Ravens cut Ray Rice. Now you could say totally different situation. That was domestic abuse, but then again, they're both are domestic abuse. One's domestic abuse against a child. One's domestic abuse against your spouse. So, as I think about it, it's actually almost pretty much just as bad. And then them just being just as bad, they're both very bad, and so I think he's very lucky that the Vikings just didn't cut him outright when it came up, when he was suspended, when the NFL laid down their law, when Roger Goodell invoked the suspension to Adrian Peterson, because the Vikings could have just cut him just as cut bait just as quick as the Baltimore Ravens did or have done, and that's a good thing for them. They don't have to hear all the questions and worry about it because they already cut him. Ray Rice is technically just a free agent. He doesn't have that. Like I said, I'm a visual person, so he doesn't have that Ravens logo next to his picture when they show him on NFL shows on ESPN. You know how they do that. But Adrian Peterson still has the Viking logo because he's technically now back to being the Minnesota Viking, and I kind of think that the Vikings should have cut him and just done away with him and then have him go wherever. Maybe they thought since Adrian Peterson is better than Ray Rice as an athlete, as a running back, that they could get something for him in return than just cutting him and cutting their losses and moving on that way. Totally, they're trying to think, okay, we still want to do that. We still, we don't want him to be part of our team anymore. He's he brings negativity to the team now, not just in negativity press, just negativity in the locker room. So their plan might still be to get him out of Minnesota, but they want to do it in a way where they can try to get something back because they have to build their team. Running backs and the like. So if they trade Adrian Peterson before I think it is March 15th or 16th, some kind of deadline, where the Vikings have to let him know if they're gonna cut him, release him, or trade him, or keep him, whatever their decision is. They have to let him know, and they have to make it themselves before he gets start being paid and everything for the next season. So I think what they should do is trade him, and if they can't find any trade partners, then just cut him and move on. Maybe in the short term it might not be great for the Minnesota Vikings, but I'm sure in time, you can build through the draft or even maybe free agency next year, and I'm sure Viking fans don't want to hear that, but just like any other team, like think about the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Oakland Raiders, Cleveland Browns, even. Um, you have to build through the draft and hope you can get a couple free agents to come to your town, to come to your team, and build from there. Like the Raiders, they have a great quarterback, and Derek Carr had a great rookie season. I think he's actually a bright spot in the whole entire team of the Raiders, especially since the quarterback is the number one position on a team. So the Raiders definitely look like they can have a future. Jaguars are slowly building. I mean, if Justin Blackmon didn't get in all his issues, just like Josh Gordon with the Browns, those two teams might at least be slowly growing. But like I said, you gotta have players on your team. You have to have continuity, and you have to have a motto or something that could bring the team together. And I think that's something that the Jaguars and the Browns are missing. I think maybe the Browns should cut Johnny Manziel and yada yada. But back to the Vikings and Adrian Peterson, I think, and hope that they do cut him. I do wish Adrian Peterson well in the future. Maybe some team picks him up. Maybe nobody picks him up. Maybe nobody picks him or Ray Rice. They're like radioactive almost. They're just untouchable, blackballed, or whatever you want to call it, and that's their own fault for what they did. Because that sort of stuff shouldn't be tolerated. To be quite honest, yes, we're in a society of forgiving, which is, great in a way, but then you have to have a limit. You have to have that line. And I'm sure each person has that line, if they're going to forgive somebody for something or not. And I'm sure domestic abuse against anyone, child, spouse, stranger, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just not right. It's just something that might be in someone's line to cross, and for me that's almost to the point of unforgivable. So hopefully maybe no team picks either of them up. They might have to retire and everything, and then I'm sure they'll go into the Hall of Fame, but that in itself won't be happening for a while either. But like I said, we are a society of forgiving, which is great. I forgive people a lot about things that happened in my personal life and past. Just like people have forgiven me for things that I might have said or whatever in anger or in a moment of just being in the moment but saying the wrong things, sort of thing. So it's to obviously a far less degree than what we're talking about here, but still, it's on the same subject of forgiving. But we'll see what the Vikings do. If they do keep him, then they keep him. I'm not gonna go crazy or be angry or do a rant video about it if they keep him. It's their decision. It's their decision. Like I said, in my personality, I'm a positive kind of person, go with the flow thing. So if they decide that and they want to keep him and try to see how much they can get out of him still for maybe for another 2 years or something, then that's their decision as a franchise. I might be a little disappointed in the decision, but then again, it's not my decision to make. So, I respect their decision and move on. And if they cut him or trade him, then obviously I'll be happy and whatever. And this is coming from a guy that's a Packer fan. This is a guy that obviously is a rival with the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm even saying that. So, and maybe it's also because I'm a podcast host, trying to be objective and whatever, but just in general, just the person I am. Because I respect all NFL fans, I respect all fans of any team, of any sport, whether they're a fan with me and my teams, or if they're not. If they're fans of our rivals, of any other team in any sport, I respect them, and we're not going to agree on everything, obviously, but definitely respect other people's opinion on that. So, but we'll see what happens, and hopefully whatever happens, hopefully it is best for business for the Vikings and for the NFL. Now, so thank you for taking your time to watch this. Welcome to leave a comment your thoughts on the Adrian Peterson situation. Let me know what you think. If you're not subscribed, you are welcome to subscribe to this channel. Like I keep saying and will say, I'm trying to throw my channel into a sports talk kind of channel. I'm trying to find out actually how I can change the name of my of my YouTube channel, actually, because I just have my name as it. I want to try to change it to like sports talk or something like that. Something where, so that can actually draw people in to subscribe and to check out videos and all that other stuff. And I do have my two podcasts, my NFL slash Green Bay Packers and professional wrestling slash WWE podcast, both on Blog Talk Radio. Both will be coming back soon. My NFL Packer podcast, Talking Packers with Steve, will be returning um, April 28th. The WWE podcast will be returning March 27th, the Friday before WrestleMania. And like I said, the Packer NFL show is going to be the week of the 2015 NFL Draft. And hopefully I'll be having some guests on both of my shows, because those are big times in the NFL and in the WWE, respectively. So take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.